If soft, fluffy bread is your jam, then this is the video for you. Stick around because I'm going to show you how to make Japanese milk loaf, also known as shokupan. Shokupan. It is a super soft, fluffy bread. Some might say the softest bread in the world. Let me know in the comments below if you agree. And what makes it so fluffy? Something called tangzong. It's what gives it that nice, fluffy, soft texture. More on that later in the video. Right, I'm going to show you all the little tips and tricks for this one. It's a very easy bread to make, so great for you novice beginners. Let's get baking. So we're going to start by making our tangzong paste. Get yourself 45 grams of milk, whole milk, the same quantity of water, 45 grams. And then you're going to use 15 grams of flour. Now this is bread flour, you can use all-purpose as well, not a problem. Get that in, and then all we're going to do is we're going to whisk this up on the stove, and we're going to cook it out for about 4 or 5 minutes. So right, let's get it on the stove.
Keep whisking it on a medium heat. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how hot you've got your flame. When it gets to this kind of a stage, nice and gloopy, go in with your spatula, and it's just going to come away from the sides of the pan, and your tangzong is ready.
So get yourself a stand mixer. If you haven't got one of these, buy one. You don't even have to get a KitchenAid one, but I recommend it. This one's been with me for years. We're going to get one of these, and it just makes baking and all kinds of stuff like super easy. So we get our tangzong paste that we had, just bang it in. That'll cool itself down. So next I'm going to add in 2.5 cups, which is about 320 grams of bread flour. If you can't get bread flour, use all-purpose. Bread flour is a little bit better because there's more protein in it, so it gives it a bit more strength in the final dough. Then we're going to add a 1/4 cup, which is about 50 grams white sugar. You're going to need some salt, so we're going to go with about 1.5 teaspoons, about 4 grams. 8 grams of yeast. This is active dry. So I've got 1/2 cup of whole milk. Just warmed it up slightly, so not too bad. It's about 120 mils. You warm it up to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want to go too crazy with it, but just enough to get the party started. Then I've got 60 grams, about 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter that I've melted. And then we're also going to add in 1 beaten egg. Get that in there too. So the egg, the butter, it's all going to enrich the dough, which is going to make it taste delicious. So get the dough hook, lid down, and then mix it about, something like a medium, which is about between 2 and 4. And you're going to let this go for about at least 10 to 12 minutes. So it's a good time to put the kettle on and have a cup of tea. Right, we'll come back to this later. Right, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's have a look. So you want it like this. You don't want it to be kind of sticky. You want it to be like a little bit tacky, so you can see just barely sticks to your fingers. So we'll get it out of the bowl.
Knead it briefly, not too long. You know when it's done because you can give it the old patented dough smack. Once you're done spanking, always a pleasure, put it into a bowl that's been greased lightly, and then we're going to cover it for about an hour and a half with a cloth until it roughly doubles in size. Now you're going to need a 9x5 pan. This one's a bit too big, so we'll see how this works. Make sure you grease it thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly. If you're not confident, put a bit of grease-proof paper in there. I've got another video on how to line that on the website. After an hour and a half, mine looked like this. Gently press it down, nothing too crazy. If it goes all the way down, that means you've overworked it. Flatten it out just like this, and then we're going to divide it into 3. And then, just to be extra safe, we're going to weigh these. You don't have to do this bit, but you know, old habits do die hard. And this is how you roll one out. Take out a rectangle, flatten it out, and roll it roughly, whatever that is, 9x5. Fold the one half over and then the other half over, so it's like a letter. Then you've got your rectangle there. Roll that out with your rolling pin, and then you're going to roll and tuck, just like this. Roll, tuck, and pull it back. Keep going until you get right to the end. Then you're going to give it the old flipperoo, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pinch that seam. Basically, you're just pressing all the dough together so it's all nicely sealed. Nothing too crazy. Flip it over, give it a nice little roll, make sure it's nice and tight, and then pick it up and put it into your greased loaf pan. Now, if I had a proper size one, they could all sit together quite snugly, but I don't. This is a bit too big. I'm going to space them out. Right, show you how to do this again. Just get your rectangle, roll it out, flip it. If it's a bit uneven like this, you can get a bench scraper and you can kind of mush it up so it looks like a rectangle. This is a very forgiving dough, so it's great when you're just starting out. Fold it over again, just like that, one half and the other half. There's your rectangle letter. Roll that out and then just give it the old tuck. Roll, and tuck. Pinch and then put it over, and then you're going to put that back into your loaf pan that's been spread out like this, and hopefully these are all going to mesh together and rise. Okay, we're going to cover that and proof it for 1 to 2 hours, or until it looks like this. Now, if I had the smaller pan, like I said, this would have been bulging to the top, but you know what? Make do with what you can. The dough feels lovely when you push it, just gently springs back. Egg wash it nicely, and then we're going to bake these in the oven for about 30-35 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit or 176 degrees C until they look like this, golden brown.
Ooh, that smell. I'm telling you guys, Japanese milk loaf, shokupan. If you know that smell, you're going to want to make this. Unreal. Let it cool down for about 10 minutes, and then we'll let it go completely cold, and then we can cut it up. But we might not cut it today. We'll cut it for some sandwiches later. Right. Let that chill.
So you're going to run your spatula around a little bit just to make sure it's all nice and loose, and grab the bottom and flip it out in one. If you've greased it properly, it should come out. If you're not confident with that, or if it sticks a little bit, just be patient and give it a couple of shakes and it should come out.
Unbelievable. That's when you know you've made it right. It's really nice. It's got that lovely little fluffiness. You've got those nice little strands that just pull away. Super, super, super delicious. So I was a bit worried it wasn't going to rise properly because, you know, the container was a bit too big. You want it a little bit smaller, and ideally you want one that has a lid that goes on there. But you've got to make do with what you have, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So what are we going to do with this bread? I'm going to make some sandwiches in the next couple of videos. So tune in to those, and I will show you what I'm going to make. I'll give you a clue. One of them involves eggs. So I'm pretty sure you might be able to guess what I'm going to make with that one. Okay. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing. It goes a long way to blow up this channel. Appreciate all of you that have done so far. So thank you, thank you. Right, time to wrap this up, and I'll see you on the next video.